we're back. MSG UFC 322. JDM taking on Makhachev. And then in the co-main event, we have Zhang Weili taking on Valentina Shevchenko. Boys, we got another banger. Let's start with Leon Edwards coming in, taking on Carlos Prates, one of the fighting nerds. Last time we saw Leon Edwards is when he fought Sean Brady and he ended up getting submitted. A lot of people did not see that coming because Leon Edwards has done some amazing things in the division. He's not a high volume guy. You know, he has some great fights with Colby Covington, out striking him, beating the bricks off him. And then he was able to knock out Kamaru Usman to win the welterweight strap. And then he came back around and fought him again for the third time and beat him there. And then he came up short when he fought Belal Muhammad. Belal Muhammad was able to put a lot of pressure on the sniper who is Leon Edwards, and Leon Edwards wasn't able to pull the trigger. Now he's taking on a very, very dangerous Carlos Prates, where Carlos Prates does very good about just forcing the fight against his opponent. Carlos Prates bounced back. He fought Jeff Neal, ended up getting that victory, and now he's taking on Leon Edwards. So let's go ahead and go to the key to victories for both these gentlemen. For Carlos Prates, key to victory number one is that he has just got to be a dog. He's got to take the fight to Leon Edwards. He can't give Leon Edwards the opportunity to set up and look for that sniper shot. That's what Leon Edwards likes to do. He likes to be comfortable in the fight. If Carlos Prates can push the pace and get in his face against Leon Edwards, he should be able to get the finish on Leon Edwards. Overwhelm Leon Edwards. If you go back and look at all Leon Edwards' fight, it's not just him who gets overwhelmed. It's his cornerman who get overwhelmed too. When Leon Edwards comes back to the corner, we see it all the time. You gotta step out of it, man. You gotta wake up. And the corner's not, all right, Leon, breathe. Okay, you're being nice. They have to wake him up. So I feel if you go overwhelm Leon and overwhelm his corner, I think that's a big thing that you can use in this fight going against Leon Edwards. Key to victory number two, take him down, out grapple him. Leon Edwards does have some great takedown defense, but if you take the same recipe what Belal Muhammad and what Sean Brady was able to do to Leon Edwards, you pressure him on the fence, you take him down, pass his guard, get the back, body triangle, look for the submission choke there. Now let's flip the page and go to Leon Edwards. Key to victory number one, he's got to get himself to a position where he can be comfortable and find that sniper shot. Force Carlos Prates to stifle him as Ian Gary did. Go lateral, move, get on the bicycle. Don't sit in front of him, allow him to be able to do combinations and overwhelm you. Go lateral, find the spot, pick the shot, and pull the trigger and execute it. Key to victory number two, you gotta defend a takedown. Defend the takedown. I know Carlos Prates isn't known for the takedown, but I think you should have that in the back of your mind. That's the time where he gets stifled, is people over pursue him, cross the void on him. He's not able to get the setup for the sniper shot, and he ends up being overworked. He gets overworked when people just push the pace on him. So when those things being said between Leon Edwards and Carlos Prates, I'm going to have to go with Carlos Prates. I think Carlos Prates, the fighting nerds have been on a little up and down trend, but I feel Carlos Prates is making that bounce back off of Jeff Neal. And if he can just go over pursue and over pressure Leon Edwards, I think he's going to get the victory and potentially maybe even a knockout. And guys, when we're talking about UFC 322 final predictions, we got to let you guys know this video is sponsored by Prize Picks. Now, Prize Picks is a daily fantasy sports game played directly from your phone. It's very simple. Get on your phone, go to the App Store, download Prize Picks. When you do that, use my promo code MIGHTY. Now, it's very simple. It's more or less. When I'm looking at the event board, JDM taking on Makhachev, I like less on fight time. I just don't think it's going to go all 5 rounds. I just feel someone's going to get finisher. They tend to push the pace. But what Zhang Weili taking on Valentia Shevchenko, I like more with fight time. Those, women typically don't have that one hitter quitter. They're both so good when it comes to jiu-jitsu. So I like more with that. And then somebody's going to get finished there. I think Makhachev is going to be able to knock out Sean Brady. So I'm going to go less. Shout out to Prize Pick for sponsoring this video. Now let us get back to the final prediction of UFC 322. But let's go to the next fight on the card. Nickal making his return after getting his liver absolutely destroyed by RDR. He's taking on Rodolfo Vieira. Now, I remember when this matchup got made, they're like, great, now we're going to have a wrestler, Nickal, taking on another jiu-jitsu practitioner. Now, we saw this in the past when Bo Nickal took on Paul Craig. But I think things are going to be a little bit different. I think Bo Nickal is starting to get his wits about him. He started to understand how to go about the fight game. He had a hard showing, taking on a very, very big RDR, and he landed that nice knee on Bo Nickal, and Bo Nickal just crumbled. Now, Bo Nickal's looking to get back. Now, does Rodolfo Vieira have the stand-up as RDR? I don't think so. It might be similar, but I don't think Rodolfo Vieira has the same clinch game as RDR. So I think that's going to be something that Bo Nickal's not going to have to worry about. Bo Nickal is going to have to worry about being taken down, but Bo Nickal is a phenomenal wrestler, so that's probably not going to happen. So this fight could be, I hate to bring it to you guys, this fight could be another snooze fest just because, Bo Nickal's not pop. But, he's not throwing, fucking combination on his feet. He does throw like the one overhand right, left hook, 1-3 overhand right. But it's not a pop angle 2 and body kick. So when I look to the keys to the victory, there's not going to be a whole lot because, Bo Nickal, he doesn't really do a whole lot on his feet, right? So key to victory number 1 for Bo Nickal is stay on the feet. Don't let this man take you down. Because if he does, he's probably going to out-grapple you in the submission, the jiu-jitsu world. But as far as him, blasting a double leg on you, I think you got that one covered. So key to victory 1, stay on the feet, and that's going to frustrate Rodolfo Vieira. And then key to victory number 2, don't be afraid to let your hands go. Don't be afraid to let your hands go, because if Rodolfo Vieira wants to take you down, if you start letting your hands go and it scares him, he's going to take a bad shot. So when he takes a bad shot, it's going to be easier for you to sprawl. Once you sprawl, snap your head down, go around the back, don't put your hooks in, but take the back and start pounding, grounding a pound. That's a very easy game plan to basically implement. Throw your hands, you shoot, sprawl, step the head, go to the back, punch. He's going to turtle. He's going to turtle, you punch. He's going to go to his back, goes to the back, you pass guard, get the side control, then you start your submission game if you want to pursue that. So those are the keys to victory for Bo Nickal. He's only got 2, and I think that's all he needs. Now let's look at Rodolfo Vieira, ADCC World Champion. I mean, the guy is 11-3. 9 of those are submissions. So this man is a black belt hunter. That's what they call him. So he's going to be looking to hunt that submission against Bo Nickal, but he's got to get it to the ground in order to get the submission. So key to victory number 1 for Rodolfo Vieira is get the fight to the ground. A lot of people don't realize that you can shoot a double leg, and once he sprawls, you can pull him on top of you, and then now you're in butterfly guard, or you can go to X guard, or you can go to heel hook position. Those things can be done by Rodolfo Vieira because he's grappled the best of the best in the world in jiu-jitsu. He might not wrestle the best athlete in the world, but this isn't wrestling. This is mixed martial arts where you can use all the art forms. Key to victory number 2. Do not allow Bo Nickal to dictate where the fight goes. Over pursue him. If you over pursue him and cross the void to get in his space, he has only 2 options. He's either going to clinch and start striking, or he's going to shoot on you. So if he shoots on you, you get the chance to sprawl, start working for the power half, looking for the darts or the anaconda. If you force a fight and you only got 15 minutes to get it done, and when you get him down to the ground, if you only have, it takes you 2 minutes to get him on the ground, you have 3 minutes to work, which you can lose rounds by that if he does a lot of good stuff on the round. Don't end up like Jalton Almeida. Don't have 10 minutes and 48 seconds of control time and expect to win the fight. You got it. If you get it to the ground, you got to be active, and you got to look to get a submission. And so with those 2, key to victories for both these gentlemen being said, I'm going to have to go with, I'm gonna have to, with this one, I think either guy can win, but I like the 9 submission victory, so I'm gonna go with Rodolfo Vieira. I like a guy who's always looking to finish the fight. It's gonna be very hard for him to finish it because he's got to take out Bo Nickal, and Bo Nickal is no slouch. Once again, I think either one of these guys can win it, but I'm gonna go with the guy who has 9 submission victories. He seems to get it done. ADCC World Champion, so we're gonna go with Rodolfo Vieira. Then after that, Sean Brady, who's 18-1, taking on Michael Morales, who's 18-0. I feel like any one of these guys, if Michael Morales does an impressive win, or if Sean Brady does an impressive win, these guys can be the next in line when it comes to the 170-pound strap. These guys can fight the winner of Makhachev or JDM, or unless Ilia Topuria comes up and spoils the party. But when you look at these guys' fights, I'm loving what these guys both bring to the table. Michael Morales, hard hitter, lots of power. Sean Brady, great grappler, being able to beat a former welterweight champion in the division. this fight is going to be amazing because Michael Morales is getting his opportunity to shine on the pay-per-view main card. You know, it's right before the co-main event. So a lot of eyeballs are going to be on this fight. And he's also taking on Sean Brady, who's looked absolutely phenomenal in his last couple fights. I mean, he submitted Leon Edwards, their former world champion. He made it look easy as well. And when these two look to fight, you know, I feel right off the bat that Michael Morales is going to have the power advantage. He's a big, athletic build, 170er. So let's look at the key to victory for these guys. For Sean Brady, key to victory number one for Sean Brady is that he's got to get this fight to the ground, I believe. Reason why is because I feel like that's where he has advantage over Michael Morales. Michael Morales is athletic, he's fast, he's big, he hits hard. You can stand with them, but don't stand to engage in the strike, and stand with them in order to draw him in so you can get the wrestling going. If you have somebody busy defending a takedown, using a wizard, always trying to keep their balance, they're not on balance where they can start letting their hands go. And that's why I like, you know, the key to victory number one is start implementing the wrestling and jiu-jitsu. Keep his hands busy with that aspect of it, right? Key to victory number two, if and when you do get in the ground, you have to focus on wrestling, not jiu-jitsu. There's a difference. When you start to do jiu-jitsu, you kind of, you know, cook the beans. You stay in half guard, you stay in guard. When you start to wrestle, you want to keep his back on the ground. You always want to change position. If he starts to wrestle up, you go in the front, you go head and arm, you snap him down, you get all that pressure on his head, snap him down, and then force him to start working the chokes. You start working the Barboa choke, you start working the Anaconda choke. I was literally talking about it with my professor. Wrestling, if somebody turtles, you don't go around and take the back. Right? You go around, take the back, you put your hooks in, they're going to roll through and they're going to be able to come on top. When you wrestle, you go back in front and you get the head and arm and you start shucking them down, punching them, then you start working for the chokes, the guillotine. That's the difference. I would like to see him come in front and start doing that, because when you get the back, people are able to turn and get the hooks out and then you end up on bottom. So key to victory number two, wrestle, not jiu-jitsu when you get on top. Key to victory number three, keep him guessing. You've beaten a world champion before. You know what it takes. Crossing the void, fighting on the feet, fighting on the wrestling, clinching, fight him everywhere. Use the ability of all mixed martial arts to keep the fight wherever you want it and keep him guessing. Now let's go to Michael Morales, which is somebody that it has been just knocking people out left and right. Athletic, very big, 170er. You know, the key to victory number one for him is make him respect your power, right? Sean Brady is very good on the feet, but I don't think he possesses the power that Michael Morales does. And when you have that sheer power and you hit somebody, you can change somebody's perspective of the fight by just blasting them with a hard right hand, even if they block it. And I think Michael Morales has that power to do that. If he just goes whack, and Sean Brady's like, holy shit, that guy hits hard, I don't want nothing to do with it, he's going to shoot a takedown. So key to victory number one, make Sean Brady respect your power, which is going to lead into key to victory number two. Once he respects your power and he's afraid of it, he's going to start taking bad shots. Once he starts taking a bad shot, you're able to sprawl, force him to take a bad shot, and then don't engage in wrestling. If you engage in the wrestling jiu-jitsu, you're going to sprawl, separate, have him get back up, and hit him again. When an athlete shoots when they're not ready to shoot, or they shoot out of fear, they tend to make mistakes. And I feel Michael Morales has that athletic ability and that power to force Sean Brady to make a mistake when he shoots. And then key to victory number three, don't give Sean Brady an opportunity to get into the fight. Michael Morales sports a 79-inch reach against Sean Brady's 72. So that's a huge advantage in the reach on the feet. Michael Morales is just a big body. And if he's able to overwhelm Sean Brady, it's the same thing that Bilal Muhammad did to Sean Brady. And Bilal Muhammad doesn't hit hard, right? You know, everybody says he's got pillow hands when he fights. Where Michael Morales, he hits people and they fall down. So that is a good way for Michael Morales to be able to get the victory over Sean Brady, by cross the void, get in his face, and use that reach advantage and frustrate Sean Brady to get inside the void, because he's not as long as you. He can't pop a jab. He probably could, but as long as you have an understanding of the void and the distance, it's going to be hard for him to hit you, since you have the reach advantage. So with those things said, in this fight, who do I have? Sean Brady or Michael Morales? I'm gonna go with the undefeated fighter. I think somebody who's undefeated at this level in the UFC, granted he hasn't fought nobody on the level of Sean Brady, but I feel the way he goes about fight and the way his presence and his athleticism, I think it's going to give Sean Brady trouble. So for that, I'm going to go with Michael Morales. Now, let us get to the co-main event. Like I said, guys, this is an absolute banger card at MSG. We have Zhang Weili taking on Valentia Shevchenko. Now, Valentia Shevchenko is somebody I've always been impressed with. I felt like before she lost to Alexa Grasso, I felt she was the one who's going to be able to break my 11 consecutive title defense because she's just on a different level. At one point, she was just a Muay Thai fighter. She's always evolving her game. But I will say, when she fought Alexa Grasso, that trilogy back and forth, I felt like her game almost hit a plateau. I'll explain why. I feel like Valentia Shevchenko's whole career, she was able to show that she was one step ahead of all of her opponents. Then she met Alexa Grasso, and Alexa Grasso was able to compete with her. And then the third one, it felt like Shevchenko was just taking her down, holding her in a guard, wasn't really looking to pass guard. So Valentia Shevchenko was like, okay, well, I can take her down at will, so I'm just going to lay in her guard and not really do anything and just, just pound from the guard. Now, when we look at Zhang Weili, somebody else who was dominating her division in the strawweight division, now Mackenzie Dern is a champion there. She left that division because she was beating everybody. She beat Tata Suarez and made it look easy. Now, Zhang Weili, she spent time with Him Cejudo. She's got a wrestle looking good. She's very good on the feet, and she's not scared to take the fight to her opponents. Her fights with Joanna Jacek, absolutely amazing, and I think Zhang Weili is challenging herself to go up there to see what she can do against Valentia Shevchenko. I feel like for both these girls, they're both so well-rounded. I think the biggest thing, like when you look at the keys of victory for both of them, is staying a step. Like both these key to victories are for both these girls. I'm going to do that because they're both damn dynamic. They both can wrestle. They both can grapple. They both can strike. Right? But I would say the key to victory for both of these ladies is that they have to stay a step ahead of their opponent. Be able to, be one step ahead of the other person because they're both too good. I can't say keep Zhang Weili on the feet. She's fine to stay on the feet. I can't say Zhang Weili keep Valentia Shevchenko on the feet. She's fine being on the feet, right? I think this one is more of a technical battle. This fight and the main event is probably probably of this year, probably the highest technical mixed martial arts fight we're going to see. Because they're both, Zhang Weili has dominated her division, and so has Valentia Shevchenko. They have both been on the top of their game for so long that none of them have a weakness, right? So for that, all being said, I'm going to have to go with Zhang Weili. I think Zhang Weili is faster. I think she's not scared to take the fight to Valentia Shevchenko, where the last couple of fights were about Shevchenko. She's very good, but I didn't like how she was very content with staying in the guard with Alex Grasso, and I think Weili is not going to allow her to stay in the guard. I think Weili's going to keep getting back to her feet and forcing her to fight. So for that, I'm going to go with Zhang Weili. Now, to the main event. Finally, Islam Makhachev is back, taking on JDM. Now, I'm super excited about this fight because, at one point, Islam was going to be fighting Ilia Topuria, but Islam, he already fought the 145-pound champ. He fought Alex Volkanovski. He fought him twice. The first time they fought, people were like, we thought Volkanovski could have won that fight. Then the second time they fought, Islam ended up knocking out Volkanovski. And then Islam would fight Dustin Poirier, beat Dustin Poirier in the back-to-back war fight. Amazing. And then he was supposed to fight Arman Tsarukyan, but Arman Tsarukyan got injured. And then Money Moicano steps up and he gets beat. Moicano gets beat by Islam Makhachev. Now, Islam Makhachev wants the opportunity to go up and fight for the welterweight strap. The UFC does not allow people to be double champ anymore, which I think they should. Why not in this realm of the division? But I get it. Islam wanted to go 170, Ilia Topuria wanted to go 155, and Ilia Topuria is still chasing Islam Makhachev. And one of the things we've seen in the past from Islam Makhachev is we have seen his gas tank get tested by Alex Volkanovski, but we had Islam Makhachev on the Mighty Cast. He said all of the time travel and then the time zone change and having to fight, make weight in the fight. I don't think that's going to be the case when he fights JDM because he's going up to 170. So you're going to see a strong, filled out, well-nourished Islam Makhachev. He doesn't have to cut down to 155. He basically is going there at his natural weight at 170, which a lot of people are like, oh, he's smaller. There's nothing. Yeah, there's one thing to be smaller when you're fighting a bigger dude, but I don't think JDM's a massive dude. Now, JDM to me is a dark horse. Why do I say dark horse? He's not very well known unless you follow the UFC like, abandoned, right? Like Guru knows all of his fights before he got to the UFC, where I did not know all his fights he got to the UFC. But the first time I caught my eye on JDM was when he fought Gilbert Burns. He never accepts the position. If Gilbert Burns would take him down, he's always wrestling, he's always grappling. But he has one thing that's a key in his camp, and that is the great savior of jiu-jitsu is Craig Jonesy, right? Craig Jones has been able to jump inside of the Aussie camp and be able to give these guys a good recipe to be able to counter the Dagestani wrestling. But I don't know if it's going to be enough for JDM. But with JDM, he never accepts the position, and he has beautiful, technical, simple hands on the feet. He's very tight. It's no wasted movement. It's very precise, very technical. It's almost Conor precision, but Conor moves more. Conor's more out there moving, where his precision and his non-wasted movement, like the beating he put on fucking Bilal Muhammad was just like textbook, where he bop, 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 bop. And the beautiful thing that JDM that I love when I watch him is when he hurts you, he dumps the gas tank. He hurts and he's bop, 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 and knees. He defends the takedown and he comes right back in, right? Where a lot of people, when you defend a takedown, it's like, I finally got away from him. Let me reset. JDM is not like that. He doesn't accept the position. He gets away and he comes back in with a flying knee into the void. That's how he hit Gilbert Burns. That's how he ended up knocking out Gilbert Burns, right? I'm not going to lie. I can see potentially JDM dropping Islam. I can see it. Right? I can truly see it, because JDM is so tight. He's just so fucking coil, where he'll pop up. Oh, Islam overextends, right hand. I think I can see that happening. But will it happen? That's the thing. But this is a good fight. This is a good fight. Let's talk about keys to victory, and then we'll give my predictions, what's going to happen. Let's start with Islam Makhachev. Key to victory number 1 for Islam Makhachev. I think key to victory number 1, Islam Makhachev has got to use the body kick. Reason why is because JDM is not, I don't take him as a wrestler. I don't think JDM is going to be looking to grab that leg and take him down and run the pipe and, put Islam on his back, right? Because if Islam throws that body kick, JDM catches it. JDM will catch it. And once he catches it, Islam's going to come in and start wrestling him. Then now you're in Islam's world. You're in that wrestling world, right? So I think you give JDM a predicament. It's like, hey, you can catch this. You catch it. Perfect. Single leg, I'm coming in heavy. We're wrestling. We're in my world now, right? Or I throw it, you eat it, and you eat it. Or 3, you eat it and you throw a right hand, and then I can throw it, do a right hand, I go underneath you. So I like using that body kick that Islam throws just to read the defense, right? Like when you watch football and you motion, the reason why they motion is because they want to see what the defense is going to do. So I think throwing that body kick for Islam Makhachev is a good way to see what JDM is going to do. Key to victory number 2. If you get JDM to his back, focus on wrestling, because he has Craig Jones in the gym. He's not going to accept the position. So if you're doing jiu-jitsu or you're doing wrestling, the person is always moving, right? So if you hover over him if you ride him like a wave, right? I take him down. He's trying to push me away. Come back, lift his speed up, put him back on his back, pass guard. He's going to turtle when you pass guard. Don't jump on his back. Just let him turtle his back. He's going to be able to do a lot of octopus guard. That's something Craig Jones is very known for. So those are the key to victories. It's very hard to pinpoint these key to victories, but the one I feel comfortable saying is that when you take him down, be ready to defend the octopus guard, because Craig Jones uses that a lot, right? The guy's in half guard, you come up, boom, and then you have his back. It's a beautiful guard that Craig Jones has been able to bring to mixed martial arts. Now, key to victories for JDM. Key to victory number 1, keep the precision on the feet. Now, Islam Makhachev has been dropped before in the past on the feet. Now, if JDM is able to stay coiled, pop that jab out, right? Islam's going to throw that body kick, so he's got to make a decision. I like staying in that tight bubble that he does and throwing the jabs to see what Islam's going to do. And if Islam, he's typically throwing that southpaw versus orthodox, that body kick. So JDM's got to make a decision. Is he going to block it and throw right hand so they catch it and run the pipe? Or is he going to keep going on that arc so when Islam does throw it, it's taking sting off it because he's constantly forcing Islam to turn. So keep it tight, simple, precision on the feet. Key to victory number 2, when or if you get taken down, look to utilize Craig Jones's octopus guard, right? Craig Jones is in the camp, and Craig Jones has a great way of, using his jiu-jitsu in mixed martial arts, right? Craig Jones says, I'm very fascinated how MMA guys grapple, and when I give them kind of like my recipe of how to, defend those guys or get back or defend the Dagestan wrestling, it seems to work. So key to victory number 2, utilize Craig Jones and listen to him in between the rounds. Key to victory number 3, do not wrestle up. When you wrestle up, Islam Makhachev is going to be looking to get you in that darts. It's his favorite move. He's hit me. He's hitting on me. He's hit Dustin Poirier on it. He's hit Money Moicano. That is pretty much a game over move. If he's able to get this right here, just this position, not this right here, is pretty much curtain. So how do you avoid that? Do not wrestle up. Everybody likes to wrestle up with a head and arm inside the underhook, and that's basically a gift wrap waiting to happen if JDM does that. So, with all that being said, who do I have winning between JDM, the welterweight champion, taking on Islam Makhachev? This one's hard, boys. This one's fucking hard. The reason why I say it's hard is because JDM is still unknown. We don't know what he's capable of. I feel that. I feel that in my gut. We know what Islam is. What Islam can do. We know where Islam is. He has struggles. When he fought Dustin Poirier, that was a fucking banger. And all Dustin did to stifle him was defend a takedown. You know what I mean? And Dustin's very good at hands. I think JDM is better on the hands with his precision. I think Dustin is more of a cracker, more of a brawler. But JDM just seems like he has this recipe that can beat, and he has Craig Jonesy in the camp. But Islam is so fucking good, like so fucking good. Oh, boys, we're in a predicament. This is where I'm gonna give you my predictions, but this is where I can see if either of those guys are. So for me, I'm gonna go with Islam Makhachev. Reason why is because I just seen him gut through some things. I just seen him gut through things, right? But the reason why I'm hesitant to say it is because JDM doesn't accept the position. And he's also fighting, a smaller guy. Because Islam is a 155. He's coming to 170. Granted, he cuts a lot of fucking weight to make 155. He's not a small, I don't think he's a small 170er, right? And sometimes being small, a 170er, I mean, it's not like JDM, but he might be 195, 185. I think Islam gets that big too. But JDM doesn't give up, and that's where I had that gripe. If I saw JDM give up, oh, he gets taken down, the guy passes guard, and JDM's like, oh, you got the guard, you passed my guard. But that's not what JDM does. JDM gets back to his feet somehow and starts to throw. He has great cardio, great hands, not scared to fucking exchange. I'm calling right now, like, I feel this has implications of fight of the year. Just because of how good they both are. So, for JDM to win, JDM has got to press Islam Makhachev, force him to fight, force him to throw the body kick and then counter immediately. He throws a right hand, throws a body kick, it's a right hand immediately. Right hand. When Islam tries to wrestle, he has to do everything in his power to not let Islam take him down. Use the same game plan as Dustin Poirier did, but once you defend a takedown, press him. Because when you defend and you give him opportunity to reset, it's like a Merab. If Merab shoots, Merab fails a takedown, Merab's going to get another energy to take down. But if you pressure Merab after he loses takedown, that's where he makes a mistake. That's where you can hit him with the hands. I think JDM can do that with Islam Makhachev. The problem is, can he do it? Now with Islam Makhachev, Islam's just got to go out there and force him to fight too and get the fight to the ground because JDM's hands are super good. I'm not saying Islam's hands aren't good, but I just don't think they're as crisp as JDM. But I could fucking be wrong. Those guys at Eagle MMA, they're good everywhere. Islam's got great hands. So it's going to be a fucking sick fight. I cannot wait to watch it. Best of luck to both, man. I'm a fan of both those guys. And boys, let me know in the comment section down below if I got all of these wrong, right? I feel comfortable saying Carlos Prates. I feel comfortable saying Rodolfo Vieira. I feel comfortable saying Michael Morales, Zhang Weili. The only one I just don't feel I'm on the fence with is the JDM versus Islam, because how fucking good they are. So get active in the comment section below. Let me know. Like, subscribe. Also, hit the button to go live. And we will do a live instant reaction in Tokyo, Japan from the hotel room. So, boys, we'll see you guys at the next video.